All right, yo, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. This is another episode of No Filter Podcast, and I am here with Mick Yee, aka Trap Barber Walters.
Yes, that's me.
That
Many
is her.
names.
She's got plenty of names, and she's been around the game for a long time. I've had the experience of sitting down with you a couple times
Yeah,
now.
I think we're on our third interview now.
Yeah. So, and this time I get to interview her, right?
Let's flip the script.
Flip the script, exactly right. So the way
No
I like
Mick
to start
limits.
out is I like to start from the beginning.
Okay.
I want to know how you came up. Like, what made you this dope ass person that you are? You know, I know you've been in the game for a long time. You got accolades through the roof.
Right. Thank you. You could carry on, I'm sure.
Yeah, we could go on and on. You know, and we'll get to that later. You know, but growing up, what did you go through in your life that helped you essentially become this dope ass person that you
Propelled
are?
me to it. Well, I think as you know, because you're a good dad, it's all about like
Thank you for that.
your formation with your family. You know,
Yeah.
like my dad is he's still here and he's retired now, but he was the director of entertainment for several large city arenas. So growing up, I was in shows at a young age. You know, so my dad was the manager of the Kansas City Arena in
Oh wow.
Kansas City, Missouri.
Yeah.
So this is 1976 years ago, long time ago,
Yeah.
when I was born. And then I'd say probably 10 years into the game, 88, 86, I would go to these shows with him. And it was like, hey, how you doing? We got people tuned in. I would go to these shows with him and he would basically take me in like on the catwalk of these large shows. So it wasn't just hip hop shows because hip hop wasn't really prevalent in 86.
Right.
It was more, I went to a Kiss show one night and I watched them like spit out pig's blood. And I went to Ozzy Osbourne, and my dad had to go through the line and like shake people's hands and convince them that he was not going to eat a live baby like
Yeah.
on the set.
So what is exactly what did he do in a sense?
He was the manager of the arena.
Okay, he managed the
Right.
arena.
So he
Okay.
would have to calm everything down. So if there was drama, he would have to deal with it. If there was a lighting issue, he would have to deal with it. If there was talent to be booked, he would book the talent. If you had to talk to a manager, he was the manager. So it was like he was the big wig, you know.
Yeah.
He was the big guy.
So I guess kind of like growing up in that environment helped you to be able to circulate around different types of people
Navigate
and-
situations.
Right. Yeah.
And know that I was supposed to be around like all of these people of importance my whole life.
yeah.
So as a child, I'm being held by the Elvis's manager, and my mom's freaking out, you know,
That's
shit
dope.
like
Yeah,
that.
that's
And
dope.
I don't even remember it because I was a baby. But
yeah.
meeting people like Ozzy Osbourne or
Yeah.
Two Live Crew, you know, I was probably 12 when I met Two Live Crew in Texas because my dad went from Missouri to Texas.
Okay, that's
So he
dope.
managed in Beaumont, which was really not very far from Houston.
Mhm.
And his first rap show ever was the Two Live Crew, and he was being told that they were bringing young, like underage girls on stage, so he had to regulate that.
Oh shit.
So what he did is he told Luke, "Don't do it," you know,
Right.
Uncle Luke, for y'all out there who know Two Live Crew, and Uncle Luke's like, "Nah, we ain't gonna do it." So they did, you know, they brought young girls on stage. So my dad had to help them get over the state line because the troopers were like on their ass.
Oh wow.
So he always played the cool role,
So
you know.
this is what, back in like the 80s?
It was late 80s,
late
yeah.
80s.
Yeah. So it was like
Things
watching
were
my
a little
dad
different back then. Huh?
dissolve situations and
Yeah.
be the player, you know,
Right.
the man.
Yeah.
So that's kind of where I just determined that I was probably important enough to do what he did, if not different or more.
So you said a lot of those things were essentially stuff that you didn't remember from being
Correct.
a kid. How old would you say you were when you kind of like fell in love with just music in general? Like let's not speak just, you know, hip hop,
Right.
obviously, because you said you've been around just music culture, period. You know.
I would say that really hit me in the 7th grade when I moved from Texas to California. My transition here was not easy. You know, Texas to California is a big jump, and
Yeah.
I was in middle school. So I think that Christmas they bought me a CD player, and it was when it was like a single CD player. You could just pop a CD in it.
Right.
And the CDs were super packaged in like long plastic packages that you had to fucking burn and unlock the shit and all the shit. It was
Yeah.
crazy. But my first CD my mom bought me was Mariah Carey, Vision of Love, and I think Belle Biv DeVoe, you know.
Okay.
So that's kind of when I fell in love with music, because I would go home and listen to music and I would forget about like the problems at school, the problems of the move. And I'm coming from Texas where it was Ghetto Boys, Convict, Scarface, you
Right,
know.
right.
And I'm coming to Redding, California, which was a lot different than Sacramento or San Francisco.
Mm-hmm.
Redding was definitely closed and sheltered type of place.
Yeah.
So I had to really live my own music journey out there. But that he also managed the arena in Redding, which is how I got into the local music scene.
Oh, okay.
Because I
Kinda
met
like-
a lot of people there that I did remember.
Yeah.
Sir Mix-a-Lot came and he let me ride in his limo from the front of the back of the stage, or the back of the stage to the front of the stage for Posse's on Broadway. So I was like 13, I think.
That's dope. That's what's
14. I met
Yeah, you
Pac,
got a lot
I
of
met
history.
Rob Bass, you know, all these really
Yeah.
influential rappers. So that's probably when I fell in love with music.
Fell in
Was
love with it.
7th or 8th grade. And then it was from there it was on, you know. It was like
Okay.
how much could I discover and who could I discover?
Yeah.
and-
Yep. Okay. So you get a little older and you're kind of coming into your own. Is that the first thing that you jump into? Is kind of like the music scene, or do you go a different route first?
Sort of, because I was on, now you may be too young for this, but I was on a platform called MySpace.
Oh, hey, yo, hold on.
MySpace was like, and this MySpace was just getting started. People were still programming their pages. You know?
Yeah. Okay. I remember when MySpace first came out. I'm definitely not too young for that.
I
but-
met a gentleman on MySpace who was advertising for promotion for live shows. Like he needed somebody to hand out flyers.
Oh,
And I
okay.
was probably, this is by this time I was 19 or 20.
Mm.
And I was in Sacramento. And it was Juice from Bullies with Fullies.
Oh yeah.
And
okay.
he
I
gave me
remember
a
this.
shot and I met up with him, and that's how I got into this. What I do is I met like a real influential player at the time. He had a concert series out with Jay Stalin called Giants and Elephants Radio, Giants and
Mhm.
Elephants the tour. So
Okay, yeah, I
Dame
remember that.
Fame is the one who threw that
Yeah.
with Juice.
So is that kind of how you met Shadow?
Yes, Shadow
Okay,
is
yeah,
Juice's
'cause I- yeah.
cousin.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because
So,
I remember
yeah.
sitting down with him and then I kind of made the
Connection.
connection between you guys, and so that sounds about right.
So
what's
that's
up.
kind of how I met, got into the local hip hop scene. Was I got involved with Bullies with Fullies. I was actually their first female labelist. I was their first label assistant, period. But I was female, and that was unheard of back in that day. Like back when I was 25, I was the first female like label assistant for Bullies with Fullies, which was Mess, Tay,
Yeah.
Jack, Juice, lots of people.
So for those that don't know what a label assistant is, what exactly did that entail for you?
Well, it was, I think a lot of labels do differently for different people, but I was the person who would print up the tickets for the shows. I would do the numbers when it was tax time. Like I would count up how many units were moved.
Yeah.
All the stuff they didn't want to do,
Right.
basically, and anything they couldn't go front face for.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like to rent a venue, they're not going to send Juice in, they're going to send me.
Right. Right. Of course. Yeah.
So, or to get the insurance and shit, because they never want to take a risk with a hip hop show anywhere, and that's not even in California. That's anywhere.
Yeah.
No one wants to take liability on a hip hop show.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
Which the rock
That's-
shows get way worse than the hip hop shows, but
Man.
it's just like people's perception.
Yeah. You
So-
know how the picture's always been painted with that. so-
Correct. And I think my dad, like, as proud as he was to see me in this type of industry, he also was not the biggest fan of hip hop music. So
Mm,
he was in his like kind of like double-edged sword, you know.
yeah.
And he like don't get into promotions. Promotions is bullshit. Like you're gonna end up owing people money because you know how things fall through. You end up shit. The whole bill is on your back.
It's very inconsistent when it comes to, and it's sad, you know, it's sad. I guess it's just part of the culture. I mean,
I threw a big party for Keek when he was injured. It was called Return. No, can't kill Hyphy. Can't kill Hyphy. It was at the wedding hall down in South Sac.
okay.
I didn't know the politics of the streets at that point, so I ended up inviting people that
Yeah.
shouldn't have been invited
Right,
together,
right, yeah.
and then the shit got
And
shut
see,
down.
and that's where it's messed up. Especially like when, I mean, even when we just talk like, you know, Sacramento politics, it's kind of hard. Like especially when you got so much talent, and being somebody like you who's neutral, which so am I, like you have a lot of
Right.
different connections from here to there, and not really having the street knowledge, I guess, so to speak, to be like, okay, well, I can't put this person on the bill with them and
It won't
invite
work.
them.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I know now, and
No, yeah, of course, yeah.
that's kind of what fine-tuned my skills in that was you learn by trial, trial by
Yeah,
error.
yeah.
And that was definitely an error because we ended up biting a $10,000. We just had a $10,000 party,
Sheesh.
pretty much.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it was cool. It was dope. Much love to Keek. Much love to everybody. Fab pulled up. It was
yeah.
a dope experience, but I learned how to not throw a show
Right,
during that
yeah.
time frame too. So
So
that's
do you
that's where it
think that's
started.
been your greatest teacher out of everything? I know you have a lot of experience, like I mean, me and you've been together doing things for, quite some time.
Mhm.
But I've just watched you from the sideline and I've seen like, damn, she's been doing this for a long time,
Yeah.
and you know a little bit of everybody. Like every time I run into, like I've ran into you at random spots, I'm like,
Just
"What you
never
do-"
know.
Right, yeah, never know, But so out of all these amazing people that you've been around, and the great experiences that you have had, would you say that experience has been your greatest teacher?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
For sure. And if I could go back and listen to advice that people gave me, I would because a lot of people advised me about doing certain things and I was just like, I'm headstrong, I'm intelligent, I know what I'm doing. Sometimes people are telling you things because they really know, like you should at least consider what people throw into your
Yeah.
into the ring
I
because
think sometimes it doesn't make sense to us until you go through
oh
that
yeah,
situation,
because then I'll
because
look back and be like, God,
yeah.
I should have listened to that
Yeah.
person.
Because I mean, how many times have you told somebody that and then they came in there and you were like,
A
shit, I
lot.
told you so. But then it's like when you look at it, especially from your
You
experience,
have
and
to
then you're
do
like,
it.
yeah, you have to. Sometimes especially when you like you said, like I feel like I'm headstrong,
I
and
know
all
what
of
I'm
that.
doing.
Right.
Yeah.
Experience would be the best teacher sometimes.
Yeah. And
I
I would
feel it.
say the other thing that kind of keeps me still in the game after, because it's been, let's just put it to be real, it's been about 20 years. What keeps me in the game is taking the high road. I take the high road no matter what every time.
Right.
Even if somebody fucks me over, pisses me off, it's all bad, I have to take the high road because it's not worth your energy. Long story short, the next day is going to come and the next day is going to come and the next day is going to come, and if it's truly a wrong, if you've been wronged, someone's going to right you. May it be God, the
Yeah, yeah. Every
universe.
time. Yeah, the game guys don't miss
You
nothing.
kind of just have to roll with
Yeah.
it, and that's what I've tried to do is I try not to get on anyone's bad side so that cuz you never know when you're going to run into people. I try to stay neutral. I try to stay positive.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like has kept me still floating around. I don't owe anybody money, like that
Right.
type of shit. I got a good face
Yeah.
card out here. It's
No,
good.
yeah, for sure.
It's
Yeah,
good.
yeah. Yep. So now let me ask you this question, right? You've been around for a long time. I've been talking to quite a few people about social media.
Mhm.
So if I was to go on your social media page, I don't like the engagement that I see.
Mhm.
Especially with me knowing your background and all of that. How do you feel when it comes to social media? Like as far as like when you post and the likes are not adding up and the views, and all of that. How does that make you feel? Especially knowing where you came from, where essentially there was no social media. Everything was street team back in the day.
Absolutely.
So
I think you can never take value from people's socials because you just never know. And I
well,
also,
the reason why I ask is because
oh, my
this
likes are
game
not
is
there.
is
Yeah.
that's where all the quote unquote value is
The
now.
clout.
Is it exactly?
Right.
So
Well, what happens when Instagram goes down and doesn't come back up?
exactly.
Where's your cloud at? It needs to be
Yeah.
somewhere
Where's
else.
your network? You don't have no,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
You
no,
have
yeah,
to put it
fact.
on
That's what I'm saying.
YouTube
Like,
or
like it, like, so I came up with a lot of, OGs in the game that came from, street promo and selling CDs outside the stores and
yeah.
all of that. So the network's a little different. To me, it's kind of hard not to, be involved in social media as much as
Oh, you
possible.
have to be.
You have to be, right? But at what point, like, okay, when I see how much you post,
Oh, I think I
do you,
have like 85,000 posts.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like I said, like I always see you post,
Every day, all
but
day.
I also see that the numbers don't match up,
Right.
especially like with the people that I see you around, the following that you have
Right.
and everything.
Right.
Does it ever get to a point to where you feel discouraged?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It does. And the only thing that I can take away from that when I do get discouraged is I'm I'm organic. So none of these numbers are bought. Usually when people buy numbers is when you see numbers like quadruple and do big high numbers, or
Right.
they're popping or they're buzzing at the time. Like everybody's watching them. So I think there's a boys club. I don't know where it is in this industry. I think there's definitely a boys club because I'm a girl, and some of the time I don't get included on a lot of the things
I
that
ain't
go
gonna
out
lie, the
in the
girls
boys
is running
club.
a game right.
I
We
know
talking rap?
everything, like
They
even
rapping
industry
harder than the
wise.
niggas is right now.
Industry
So
wise, women sometimes like because there are media outlets out there, and this is no shade to any other media outlet that started this year that are getting more traction and views than I am, and I
yeah,
started 10 years ago.
right.
So it's like, what's the difference? And I think the difference is, I think I am excluded on some levels from certain groups of people, and I don't know what that is about, and I try not to focus on it, but I also think that I'm not utilizing the algorithm correctly. I don't utilize the hashtags correctly.
So
All that shit.
can I give you some game
Sure.
that I'm learning, and I think this is because the algorithm's always changing, right?
Yeah.
It always is. A couple years ago, all you had to do was be active with your followers, back and forth, liking and everything,
Engaging. Yeah.
and you'll stay on the. Now it seems like the algorithm is forcing you to run ads.
Hmm.
You have to.
I think you're
You
right.
know, um, the most engagement that we gain on anything now is through ads. Until you reach a certain plateau. So have you thought about doing that? Because I
I
know,
have.
because you've been running 360 radio for a while.
Yeah.
And I've seen some heavy hitters up there,
Yeah.
and you guys have been very consistent. But again, like I said, when I look at it, I don't like the numbers.
It
Like
doesn't
it's
match.
yeah.
Yeah.
So do you feel like, do you guys run ads at all, or
We probably haven't, and I don't think we're done. We have investigated into. I think all of us have other passions too. Like my DJ has like a full time. He's a DJ, obviously.
right?
So he's got his gig. Like I work 900 million jobs. I live in California, so
Yeah.
I got to work like 900 million jobs. I host shows. I do weed shows. All the shit.
Yeah.
So I don't think I've ever really fully put the focus into growing the platform like we are
Mhm.
now.
Well,
As
I'm
of
saying like more in a sense of everything, because like you said, like you're everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
right,
From hosting shows to weed shows to local hip hop shows to being out of town to running your own interviews
yeah,
on 360 radio. Um, I think it all ties in together though,
it
because I
does.
mean, because at the end of the day, it's social media. It's the platform that we're all kind of forced to use now.
It's the perception I
Right.
think of other people because like you say, if you're a stranger and you go look up my platform or my channel and my numbers don't match, nobody's gonna want to come shell out money to sit down on something
Yeah.
where the numbers don't
Exactly.
match.
Yeah.
So then I have to pull out like my hashtags, my resume, who I have sat down with, and then after that, like it becomes a if you know type of thing with me. So there are people out there that just know who I am and what I do, and they almost fuck with me because I don't care. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do this either way.
No, yeah, definitely. Because I don't care either. Trust, believe,
There we
I
go.
don't
Right.
care. Never have.
You're
I
gonna do
always
your
been
thing
well,
regardless.
because how can you keep control, or how can you see who to target and everything if you don't do things organically, right?
Right.
But at some point in time, every game changes. Whether it's the dope game, the music game, everything's evolving. History repeats itself, but things are still evolving.
Hmm.
What can we do without social media? And I mean, and it's fucked up how they control the narrative when it
Hmm.
comes to the algorithm and everything. But we spend money on a lot of bullshit all the time. I know we all do.
Right.
Why not spend the money to get our views and the likes up on our
So
platforms?
people can see it.
Right.
Mhm.
Because like I said, I mean, shit, we could sit and run down everybody that you've had on. There's no reason why you shouldn't be getting 10,000 plus
I know.
views on anything that you drop. You know what I'm saying? And you're doing great interviews. Maybe that's the only thing that's missing,
Right. Well, and that's
because
why what we did this year, just so you know, and we did kind of change things. So, and because I'll say all day, yeah, I'm going to change how I do things, and then I won't.
Yeah.
I'll tell everybody, yeah, I'm going to change. I'm going to run ads. Yep, I'm going to do
Yep.
it. And then I don't.
Yeah.
I don't know why I'm like that. But this year was the first year of us being licensed, CSAC, ASCAP, BMI licensed.
Nice. That's what's up.
So anyone who comes and sits down, you're going to get, retribution back from the spins because we're licensed to spin your music. So that's like the
That's
first
what's up.
step in
I
trying
remember we
to
were
show
talking about that a couple years ago.
Yeah.
When you guys
So we
did it.
finally
That's dope.
licensed everything, and I believe Eddie and them are putting more money into trying to do ads on, like, ad placement in general, because we have a licensed radio station in the city of Sacramento.
Right.
So why aren't businesses that are out there, may it even be the halal spot or the taco shop, like, or a mechanic, you don't have a website, you're not running any ads, run an ad on this radio station.
And I think what it comes down to is when at first glance when you see it, it's like, oh, it's not doing
Small
any numbers.
potatoes, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
I
and
agree
just
with
like it's one thing to go ahead and just buy it. It's another to actually run the ads. You know what I'm saying? Like I've had people ask me like, oh, are you guys buying it? No, we're just running ads, you know, because we had to conform with what's going on. Like, I remember a couple years ago when I had things really rolling and we didn't have to run ads.
Right.
We were just active,
On
I had
your
to have,
own.
right. And now it's to the point to where it's like, okay, like the name of the game has always been to travel and you got to spend money.
Get your name out.
Yeah. You got to pay to play. It's all about how you pay to play though.
It is.
You know?
It is. And the advertisement is definitely forefront right now for us to even run ads on our YouTube page, because I'm aware of what we have, and I'm aware of how like anemic the numbers are. And I've said that forever. But take, for example, even without me running ads, how do I have a Glasses Loke interview just like every other outlet on the West Coast when he toured up here, but every other outlet's interview with him is 10,000 plus views and I have 136? You feel me? Like,
because
I don't even have 500 people that want to look at the shit. That's crazy to me.
But it's because of subscribers.
Right.
How many views are on the previous videos, all of that, like I ain't gonna lie, it gets tricky, like especially like with us just starting this and everything, like I'm just kind of starting to learn all of that, and how many views you got to get monetized and all of that. So it's a numbers game. And
don't let those fucking lists come out, because the lists, oh my God, they heat me up. Like I get so mad because I see people on these lists of best of 2023.
So let me ask you this, right? Because again, been around for a long time. You got a lot of clout, and to me, you got a lot of say so. You got stamps from a lot of legends. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they're on me.
Why we ain't got a Mickey list?
A list? Because I think the lists are very destructive.
They're always going to be. You know what I'm saying? But it's your own opinion though.
It is.
Like when I look at them, like I mean, I've seen lists that have been dropped that didn't have my name on. I don't care. I know I'm better than half the people on those lists.
Absolutely.
But at the same time, I'm not in a position you're in that you didn't interviewed all of these people. You've experienced all of this. Why not?
I can make a list. Yeah.
Why not? You know what I'm saying? From just
something
you could
to
just
think
do
about.
it Northern California. If so be it. If that's what you felt, I ain't gonna lie, that would be dope.
As a person who's never on the list, that would be a good idea, because I'm never
exactly
on the fucking list.
And that's the thing. So that's why I started doing this, because I can't ever get on a list to get an interview.
Yeah.
So why the fuck I'm gonna just start interviewing people myself, and do it how I feel it should be done.
I had my graphic designer make up a flyer for me, and like I said, I rock with all the networks, but my flyer was my picture 4 times across and my picture 5 times down, like the whole page, and it said Mick Yisler across the top, and it said list at the bottom. That was my list. Me. Yeah. I'm the only motherfucker on my list.
Everything is about controlling the narrative. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, the lists, they get me riled up.
Yeah. But you have an opportunity to control the narrative, I feel like.
Well, and I think at some point I would be able to drop a list of the underdogs, the ones that aren't on the list.
Right. Yeah.
And that would be the non-list list. Yeah. I'm never on the list or some shit. Like that's a good, because that shines some light on people that never fucking get it. They never get to shine. Yeah. Little Marvelous lives out here. She's Marvelous's daughter.
And she's dope.
She's fucking fat raps. Like she can spit her ass off. She doesn't get. She's not on ever anybody's list. I made a list, I think, once, and I had her on
It
there.
happens.
That shit is crazy to me.
It happens.
It's like, who's doing the research on these lists? Wild.
It's whoever's paying.
Wild. See, I don't want to be on the other end of that. I don't want to be the list maker because I don't want to have to pay people or get
but
paid.
you have to, because if you don't, then guess what? You just sit on the other side and be like, "What the fuck is up with this
I'm
list?"
never on the list. Yeah,
Exactly.
I feel you. I feel you. If I'm
Stop
coming in
worrying
hot
about
on this,
why I'm
let
never
me
on a
know.
list. Make your own list.
Yeah,
Shit.
I should
You
do
know?
a non-list
So
list.
let me ask you. So everything that you've done, what's been your favorite experience?
Oh man. I was just talking to somebody about this last night. I have to say, out of everything that I have done, the biggest moment in my career was when I sat down and interviewed Wendy Day. Wendy Day is the owner of Rap Coalition, and she's also one of the first founding people that found like Eminem's first uh, submissions, Drake's first submissions.
Mm.
She put No Limit on the map, like C Murder, all them. She signed all their first deals. Super implemental in music history, and I was able to like I could. It was COVID, so I couldn't sit down with her, but I did a Zoom interview with her, and she's probably they call her the fairy godmother. I mean, she's probably the most implemental female in hip hop history.
Her.
So that was one of my biggest moments.
Y'all
and
see what I'm saying, man? She got accolades.
yeah, I can.
How
list them
y'all
down.
not sitting down with this lady right here? How
'Cause
y'all not
I'm
trying to
not
get
on the
no
list.
game for, you know what I'm saying? From somebody that ain't on the list. She's special.
Listen. The second biggest moment of my career was when Mac Mall threw me a birthday party last year in Santa Rosa, and it's like,
Now,
have you
how
ever
many
had
of y'all
somebody-
motherfuckers that had a birthday party thrown by
Mac
the
Mall.
Mac Mall?
Right. Have you ever had a birthday party thrown by Thiz at all? Like,
Come on, man.
It was wild.
That's big shit.
was
That's
huge.
dope. That's dope. That's dope.
Never been to Rolling Loud though. Never been anywhere like that unless it's with the Cuddy or a big name. You know, like that's just that is my claim to fame. I usually have them on me. You know, most of the artists I rock with, like the OGs, they're tatted on me.
Yeah. I remember you was showing me those
Yeah.
before. Yeah,
Trap Barbara Walters is
dope.
on me now, so that's going to happen.
Yeah, that's what's
Inked.
up.
Shout out to
That's
Tattoo
dope.
Sacramento Tattoo and Piercing.
So what's next for you?
Oh man, my next move, and I kind of said this at the last at Mars Radio interview, was I really want to get involved in either a nonprofit or even if it's 360 that is implemental in starting it, communication and broadcasting course for females, young women, young ladies, teenagers. You know, get them involved in getting behind the mics more in the industry side of things versus just on the news or
Right.
you know, I want to make sure that they have the same spot that I have. And
Yeah.
I've kind of explained, like, I don't have kids. I don't have a namesake. So I don't really have anybody to send this to when I'm done, this talent of mine or this seat that I've got. So I want to share it with some people that are interested in learning. And I feel like that would take me away from the humdrum day jobs that I do. Like I could actually get paid to teach kids and be in my own lane, you know? So that's
Right.
kind of where I'm trying to take that. Also, I mean, I have lots of interviews, but I want to do more television acting, variety shows, things like that. I want to get out of necessarily just the interviewing realm. I want to do all
So
kinds
you
of
think
shit.
you have the necessary resources to be able to do that
Mhm.
already? Yeah.
I do. Even if it's just pulling strings. But it's going to be schooling. I have to take some schooling. If I'm going to be teaching, I have to be taught. And I obviously have hands-on, but I need the actual paperwork from a school about a communications degree or things like that. And for a nonprofit, you have to do a lot of paperwork too to get
Yeah,
things
that's what I heard. It's a lot
formed
of-
and things
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
That's where I'd like to take it too. But honestly, and I'm gonna be real honest with you, and everybody's asked the same question. I don't really have a plan. I just continue to show up every Monday night and book guests. And I've done that now for 10 plus years. And
Yeah.
it just they just keep booking.
Just keep booking, right?
Like
Yeah.
no matter what. I've tried to quit 19 times. I quit every week.
Man.
But it's
But you
like
never gave up.
calling me, you know, like
Yeah.
something
Yeah.
keeps just calling me back. So I just continue to show up.
That's all a part of fulfilling your destiny.
And it's a lot about all these people out here who have rooted me on, I would hate to disappoint them in the final
Yeah.
leg of the race.
So instead of worrying about all the people that aren't putting you on a list, it's all the motherfuckers
that have.
that are on your
Yeah.
you are on the list
Yeah.
and you at the
They're
top
on
of
my
the
list.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
Because in the cold part about it is whether you know it or not, you probably set the standard for a lot of shit.
Thank you.
You know, I can honestly say that I've only seen one other person host a show the way you host a show.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
That
kind
yeah.
of fell away from hosting just because I think
Hey,
people want more of the partier. And
exactly, and you're not that person anymore. You know
right.
what I'm saying? But I remember meeting you back in the day,
I
and
was
that's
the
what you.
partier.
Yeah. But you had that energy. You got on stage like we don't. I'm like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but
She's the
she's
host.
got that energy though. You know what I'm saying? You got that light over you, and you just command the respect and to pay
Right.
attention and want to listen to the next artist that's coming up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, that a lot of that has to do with hanging out with guys like this. Mac Mall, all the OGs that have sat down with me and nurtured me through the whole career that I've done, they taught me that who are they? You know, like you never worry about what anybody thinks of
Yeah.
you. If you know you're number one, you're fucking number
You know
one.
what? I heard something earlier today, right? It said, how many people's opinion have you deposited into your bank?
Zero. Zero.
None.
Zero.
You know what I'm saying? So why the fuck would if you sat up and you waited on everybody's opinion, how fucking long would you be waiting?
Oh, a
You know what I'm
long
saying?
fucking time.
But you talking about a bunch of people that have no idea what they're doing.
No. And that's why I never listen to what people say. Because it's like, usually when people are saying negative things or they're criticizing, it's Russell said it best. Today I read it. He said, hate only comes from a hater.
Yeah.
Hate's only
That
going to
shit is
come
a
from a
reflection
hater.
of how you feel about yourself.
Exactly.
You want me to feel that way too.
I'm not doing that
No,
because
you
I'm
can't.
happy. I've always been like a happy-go-lucky type of person. I wear crystals. I believe in energy, Palo Santo, like all the stuff. All the stuff. So if some bitter Betty comes bopping along, you know, I'm liable to just ignore her ass. Like that's just how it works.
Yeah.
And I used to roll with people like to shows and have a clique, a crew, but as time went by, everybody falls off because you have to have devotion and consistency to this shit. You may not want to go to that show Saturday night in another city 3 hours away, but McYee would be there. So you're going, you know, like that's part of the criteria.
Right. Sometimes you got to understand everybody don't see things the way you see them.
Right.
You know?
And I know it's going to sound sappy as shit, but I really worry about disappointing people. Like, I know Maul don't give a fuck if I'm at the show or not. Like,
Yeah.
he's got thousands of people
But it
there.
shows that you care, though.
But
you know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
he does.
Yeah, exactly.
I'd
yeah.
be like, what
Yeah.
if he was counting on me to come?
Right.
And I don't go.
Yeah.
Like,
And
that's,
in a sense, that I feel like that's just showing appreciation, though. You know, like showing at the end of the day, showing somebody that you care about what they're doing.
how they're
You
feeling.
know what I mean?
Right.
And the fact that I know the status that you have and how many other people you could have called and you decided to call me. You know what I'm saying? That it was that important for me to show up for you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
That's dope. You know, because there's a lot of people that just don't care.
I know.
You know?
And they have way less accolades than I do.
Do you think shit would be easier if you didn't care?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd probably be on.
Because I see it's a lot of shitty people that are just on.
I'd be on right now for sure.
Sometimes you got to implement some of those things and just not give a fuck, you know? But at what point and at what cost?
It's that integrity line, you know? It's that integrity fucking card. It's like, well, do you want to be a shitty person and have a lot of followers, or do you want to be a person of integrity and have 11.4
How crazy is that?
forever? Like, I've been sitting at 11.4 forever. And, you know, about 5 of those came from Persian Medium. When I interviewed the Persian Medium, shout out to her. She's the psychic to the stars, Kardashians, everybody.
Okay.
I interviewed her, and then my followers jetted up like
That's dope.
over 10.
So wait, you did something recently, right? You were on the
I was
the
on
news or something?
public access.
Public access. That's what
SAC
it was.
public access, yes. And
So tell us about that.
that was a real, I don't want to say real television show because mine is a real television show at this point. We're produced and all the shit. But this was SAC public access. My friend who I met through Mac J, True story. I met through Mac J. It's like he's in school at this public access, and he's like, I need to find people to interview that are being positive influences on the Sacramento scene.
Okay.
And he's like, I've been following you for years, so it's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
So I came in, and he sat me down and he asked me some questions, and it was like the big lights, the big studio, television, and that's what kind of gave me that bug to go try to do acting or even like a newscaster.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But why do I have to get the job through another company when I have it? When I have it, I just need to build it.
Yeah. Well, shit, you got the experience, you got the network, you got everything
I have a
you
chair,
need.
I have a camera.
Oh, exactly.
I have a.
See how much more accessible things are? Like, you don't need anybody.
I know.
You know what I'm saying? Obviously, you need the people around you. You gotta have your cameraman and people that's gonna help motivate you. You just essentially you just need people around you that believe in the same things you do.
Shout out to the cameraman too, Sackboy. One of the camera people who shoots is on right now. Marzi, she's on right now. I have a lot of different camera people I bring in to implement different types of shots.
Yeah.
Bishop would be the one that would shoot more of an avant-garde type shoot. So it's like good to have different people in your pocket to be able to be like, oh, this person would match this show. Because I'm supposed to go to this Jade and Alexis show, MILF Music in San Jose. So I'm supposed to go to San Jose and go to this Jade and Alexis show. And I don't even listen to Blueface or Jaden or any of that. But it's like, that's going to be popping. So I'm like, who would go good to the Jaden show? I was talking to Boss Lady, she's one of my partners. She's like, Marzi, she's a female, female girl power.
Oh yeah, she get along with anybody though.
So I was gonna take her to Jade and Alexis. Even though I don't watch that shit, I have to like talk to my roommate and my best friend and be like, what are they going through right now? Like she tatted his face on her face or whatever.
Hell weak. That's funny.
So that's like good to have good cameramen. And then my DJ, I mean, God, he's got more accolades than I do, sir. Like King's DJ, University of Nevada DJ,
right? Yeah.
Everybody's Party, all the clubs. He's a heavy hitter himself. So much love to him and his brother. They hold me down.
So how'd you guys link up?
I actually met him. So I had my own radio station for a long time. I rented a place over off of Expo, and Shadow was my program director.
Mm-hmm.
And I brought everybody into I was just running internet radio. I was running my own boards.
Okay.
I have videos of the shit. But I met Shadow. I mean, I was working with Shadow, and then it was like Eddie was doing 360. I was doing Giants and Elephants. I took a break on Giants and Elephants, and then Eddie was like, I went to him and he said, just come down and talk to me. So he was like, had to determine that my show matched his shows. He's like, yeah, you fall in perfect. And there's like the next day I started my first show of Connected Radio with the Wi-Fi logo. Thank you for the happy birthday wishes. And it was Stressmatic was my very first guest from Federation. And he doesn't do interviews. So it was like super dope to have
that's
somebody.
What I'm saying. You be getting motherfuckers to come out that don't even pop out.
Because I'm that girl,
What I'm saying, see?
If I ask you, they know it's necessary.
So it's safe to say you always been on a list.
Yeah.
You just didn't see your name.
Nah. It was in invisible ink. No, I was on other people. Yep. They just didn't have lists.
Yeah. Nah, you was on a list of the motherfuckers that matter. You know what I'm saying? Because you don't get people to pop up like that don't pop up nowhere.
Because, the reason with Stress, the story kind of behind that is he watches me and he sees that I support the up and coming artists, and I will buy merch. I will buy a ticket. I will pull up to their show 4 hours away. Like he respects that, like that's a respectable person in an artist's life. People that'll actually really wear the shit, support.
No,
this is
all
Sacramento,
of that.
American Cream. See, Sac, Ramen, Tell.
That's
clever,
dope.
right? American Cream, local, right down the street.
Yeah, I got a couple of their shirts.
Yeah, they're dope. And
that's
like,
the SAC shirts we got.
That's what it is. Yep, he does that shirt. Secure all currency or something like that. It's dope. He's provided clothes from the jump too, and a lot of people have supported. So I do have to shout them out because I talk a lot about these bitter ass haters, but we should talk about who's like really been in my corner.
I think it's just always. I don't know. It's easy talking about negative shit sometimes,
because it's so prevalent.
And I think it's just a part of the culture. talking about people that hate on us. You know,
Why?
we never want to drop their names. They know who they are, you know, and all of that. But
They're definitely hating.
yeah, of course. Well, you and because you can feel it though. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, like you know, you're a person that's about energy.
I feel the
You
room
know, you can
dip.
feel it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I said, like you have a light. Like when you walk in a room, you have a light. You know,
I'm searching for others like me.
exactly, and at the same time, so other people can see that light that don't have the light that you have.
Oh, they hate it.
Of course
They
they
want
do.
that light.
And a lot of times they don't even understand why.
And if they don't want the light, they want my light. And it's like, come on. There's only one me.
But you didn't earn it though.
Right. Where
You
was
know?
you when I was shooting in the gym?
Exactly.
Because I shoot. I was shooting.
No, facts.
I mean, I'll pull up. We'd have like 2 hours of sleep when we were on the Giants and Elephants tour. And we'd pull up to the radio station to do a 2-hour interview, or pull up to work for 8 hours. You know,
seeing people don't understand that, you know.
You got to
Motherfuckers
put it down.
Yeah, you got to put it down. And a lot of times you got to put it down and get nothing back in return but the experience.
Expect
and
that
the story
as your
to
payment.
tell. Yeah, for sure. Especially with this, man. I've been doing this shit for so many years. The amount of money that I've made versus what I've spent, it don't add up, you know?
Same.
But the love is different, you know, and I could tell how much you love this.
Oh yeah, people
know,
people
you
tell
don't
me
do
I look
something for
crazy.
Yeah, of course. You
They're
know
like,
why?
You look kind of crazy on stage. I am crazy.
Right. You have to be shit to do what we're doing. You got to be crazy. You got to be delusional.
Well, nowadays the internet, everybody's looking to be that next viral weirdo moment. You know, like so
Yeah,
they're
that's
all
just for a
searching
moment though.
for
What
it.
you're doing and what you've done will last a lifetime.
Oh, I've said it. Once
You know?
somebody hits one interview that they like and they look at the history, like, oh, there's like 36 interviews I should watch.
Yeah.
There's like
And shit,
112.
and that's why it's one of those times where maybe you just need to get on your bullshit.
I know.
You
You're
know?
not the only person that said that.
Because you a lot of people don't want to do research for themselves. You know what I'm saying? So let me put it all in front of you and show you I done did this interview, this, that, I done been here. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I wanted to sit down with you, because I wanted you to sit down and talk your shit. You know what I'm saying? You sit down with everybody else and you allow them to talk their shit.
Absolutely.
I want you to sit down and talk your shit because I know you got accolades.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I know you've been stepping around this motherfucker. And I appreciate it. I love it. I can't find it in myself to hate on nobody. I find inspiration in it. You know what I'm saying?
They know. They're out there.
But they don't know.
They know.
You know what I'm saying? And that's why you got to talk your shit. Yeah, they do, but you got to talk your shit, though.
Well, I'm just saying, all they have to do is look at every single thing I put up all day long. I have history and I have archives for 10. I could post for 10 days straight.
Come on, man.
Every 10 minutes.
Every
and not
10
be
minutes.
done. You feel me?
Everything, and just put it in your face.
It's crazy. I have
and let you
Jacka,
know.
like old school Jacka footage. Okay, he had just given me the thumbs up for the interview. So, thank you. Everybody say I inspired. Oh, thank you. OC. He has a show
Yeah.
too, Talking with
Yeah.
OC. That's the best part though, is even if they don't see me, they do what I do. So I know they saw me.
Yeah.
It's like, now you have a show.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people.
Now it's time to start monetizing it, though, so you get paid for it.
Absolutely, because I've got history, like hours put in. But it's a beautiful thing to look out there and see everybody else with podcasts, because it's like when I started, there was only 2. You know?
No, definitely.
This is a beautiful
And-
lane.
Yeah, no, it is, and so for me, it's like this. Not to go off topic or anything, but it's like the rap game is so oversaturated now. You know what I'm saying? As an artist, especially if you're not like what we talked about earlier, if you're not looking for that viral moment, if you're not looking to just be viral, you got to find something else. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's why I admire you, because you got your hand in so many different things. It's inspiring. You know what I'm saying?
Thank you.
The only thing I ain't seen you do yet is drop a song.
That's
And you probably got a couple sitting in the archives, though.
I already told Eddie, I said, if it sounds any bit like corny, don't drop it. Don't like hide it. And he'll be like, and I never heard nothing of me, so it must be corny. Feel me? I did take a red pen and like write a song out one night on a piece of paper, and I was high off E-pill, and it was like, what the fuck did you just write or say? This was some gibberish, some bullshit, but I went in there and popped my shit. I think I sounded like Eminem. I don't know.
See, you might have to just drop it.
No, I would
Why
have
not? Look at all this bullshit that's being dropped.
We're gonna do we'll do a thought. We'll think that one out. We'll do a good
all
track.
All of a sudden you want to think about it? I thought you were just doing shit. What happened?
No, I want to think about that one. Listen, you know what? I've also learned that I put way too much of my life on the internet the first 5 or 6 years because it wasn't popping like this. And now people can look back and see old footage of me, like with the suckers or somebody I fucked with that I don't fuck with anymore.
With the suckers.
You feel me? And now it's like, oh, you can go back and find that shit because it's imprinted. That's what I'm trying to tell people.
Oh yeah, even if you didn't post it on the internet, it's on the internet.
On the internet
for sure.
The
iCloud,
internet,
all of that shit. Yep.
Yeah, I love it, but
your old ass photo bucket.
When I see my memories on Facebook, it's like my eyes are bleeding. You know, I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? You feel me? Yes, we have. I could get all the legends on features on that album.
See, that's what I'm saying. You put together a compilation.
Smart. Yeah.
You got the network to do so many amazing
Maul,
things.
can I get a feature? And he'd be like, but he probably might.
Come on.
Dub 20.
Yeah, I know you know a million producers.
Yeah, I do.
Go get you 15 beats.
Shout out super producer, super big draws out of the city, big draws.
All of that. Whoever she talking about, I know she know him, and they gotta be somebody.
That was Cougnut's main man.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying, long live Coug. Jealousy. He has a song called Jealousy. Tired of these jealous motherfuckers.
Safe to say that it's all about your network.
Yeah, for sure it is.
Utilizing the network.
And you have to be a personable person. You can't be out here bouncing around and not be like fun to talk to or fun to be around. You got to I've met a lot of stiff people in this industry, and I feel like if you're like that, you're not going to meet as many people or the real version of people.
So I'm glad you brought that up. Let me ask you this, because it's something that I struggle with from time to time, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people do. With everything that you've been through and the negativity and the bullshit people that you've dealt with, how have you been able to keep the charisma that you have and the energy, you know?
Because I get blessed. Every time somebody or I have an issue or I feel like people are, I'm in a bad rut, bad light, anything, I just go hang out with my really famous legend friends and they just wipe that shit right away. One studio session with like Big Draws or Unseen Asylum, you know, any of these people, everything falls away. It's like, that doesn't matter. Who the fuck cares? Like, this is new. This is brand new. We're doing it right now. This is legendary shit.
Right.
I'm getting it on tape.
So let me, now you popping your shit. Love it. But I want to take you back, right? Because mind you, a lot of people don't have those legendary friends like you do, right? Okay. So when you were coming up and you're going through times that are discouraging, you're dealing with bullshit people, and you only have yourself to lean on. How do you keep that charisma and that energy?
Internal balance, internal. You just got to focus. And a lot of it is zone, like when you're in the zone, you may act different when you're in your zone. Anyone who's in their zone is going to be like, they're on zone, but it's like, there's some people that don't. When I did it and I lost it and I didn't have like the big dogs to back me up, I would go home. I would look at what's in front of me, which is usually a regular ass job and somebody's baby dad, like at my house. And I'd be like, I can't, this is not going to suffice. Like I gotta keep going.
So it's just like, you know what, regardless of the bullshit that I've dealt with, I gotta continue to be me and continue to put myself out there no matter how many times I get hurt. All that.
And I've usually had people, even if they're strangers, back me up on that. Like I'll run into somebody or I'll talk to somebody on the street and it's like, the energy comes right back because, and this is a lot to do with it. I've been wearing like crystals for a long time, and I used to wear more, but now I wear less. But I feel like they do work, and I feel like just being like positive. I did change my life from negative to positive, like 10 years ago.
More like a mindset thing, right? And
I was like, this is ugly, like I need to be pretty. Like I'm pretty. This is a pretty world. Let's be pretty. So that's kind of where I just steer it. And it's like I like to partake in some extracurricular activities.
Of course, who doesn't?
So usually that pairs well with delusion. Is the Lulu is the Salulu.
Yeah,
so.
Definitely. Exactly.
Party, like, yay. I'm in here.
That's what's up, man.
I've always been my own big dog, like to lean on,
Yeah, see, and that's dope. I'm glad you said that because That's something that I've been kind of struggling with lately, you
You
know.
have a big
And
heart.
I do. I'm just getting the mind to match it though. You know what I'm saying? Like, I used to be a lot up here. So it's good to hear that. It lets me know that I'm headed in the right
You have a
direction.
big
You know
heart.
what I'm
You'll be
saying?
fine.
Um oh, now I know I'll be fine,
I know, but I know where
for
you were
sure.
too.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I
It
have a
was a
huge
dark
heart,
yeah, it
and
was
it's
a
to
dark
my
place.
downfall most of the
Yeah.
time.
But when you don't have the mind that matches the heart, it does really get dark.
Yeah,
You
you can
know,
fuck
because
shit up.
because it's a lot of emotion that comes from the heart.
Hmm.
You know,
It's almost the light.
and right.
That part. The heartfelt.
Yeah, for sure. And when my mind wasn't there, it just made everything dark and everything was super negative.
Right.
You know,
I've been there. But I'm also, I have to say that, and it's fucked up because that depression and negativity can happen to anybody from anywhere, from any circle, from any.
man.
Because I thought money was the answer and I had lots of money and it wasn't. And now it's like, what is the true answer? But it's really a lot to do with, because I ain't perfect and I definitely fuck up. Players fuck up.
Yeah.
I think it's internal. You have to have that
Hmm.
internal push to be
That's
better.
that's where the riches really are. They
I
they
didn't
lie
know that.
within. Yeah.
Took a
And
long
see, neither
time.
did I. I had a spiritual awakening very recently.
That's dope.
So I finally found that out. That's why I said, like, I appreciate what you said because it let me know that I was headed, that I am headed in the right direction. And I'm
Yeah.
pretty sure a lot of other people can use that advice as well.
Okay.
Um,
I'll definitely, maybe that's gonna be my
no,
new show.
no, definitely for sure because you got a lot of game. Like you just helped me out a lot.
That's dope.
Um,
I'm glad.
Almost to
See,
the point to where you fucked up my last question, leaving me out.
I talk a lot,
Cause
so I
that
hope
was
I'm
it.
not
No,
smoking y'all
no, no,
out.
hell no,
I'd
not
be
at all.
like,
This is a no filter podcast. We don't write shit down. We just sit up and it's always a treat when two players meet.
absolutely.
So we just gonna sit up and chop game. But my last question that I always like to ask is, what's the okay? It doesn't fuck it up because you gave your piece of advice. What's the best piece of advice that someone has given you that's actually stuck with you through this whole journey that you've been on?
Best piece of advice that somebody gave me. Think think things through. Don't be in a rush to make decisions because sometimes when you just decide things on the fly or choose things, it's like you should have thought that out. So I've learned to be able to take my time
Yeah,
and act accordingly when it's
patience.
ready. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because sometimes I can give you an interview, for example. I would say, "Oh, I got Stunner Man coming," because he said he is, we just haven't set a date, like
right.
media hype, whatever, and then it will fall
Yeah,
through. So I don't ever say anything out loud anymore. Like Stalin came through the other night, and I knew, but I was not supposed to act like I knew.
right.
So I was like,
So more of a like let things happen.
yeah, don't
Let
rush
things happen.
any
Yeah.
any
Yeah.
movements or what do they
I think a
say?
lot of people don't understand that sometimes. It's like we get so excited, we think everybody else is excited as we are.
Don't sign shit right away. Read it.
It'd be the closest people to you
That's my
that you
advice.
think that you could tell
And
things to,
also,
expect them to be happy.
when you're on interviews like these or anywhere, always be mindful of what you say because I'll get to like I've been on interviews before. Shout out everyone else who's ever pulled me in, and I'll get really like comfortable and start kicking the shit, and then I'll look back on it and it's like, damn, was that in the best light? You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
No,
I
and you
guess
know
being
what?
authentic was
No, definitely. And so and
just be aware,
this is where that's my job. You know what I'm
right?
saying?
As the host, right?
Right. And so is being able to control the narrative. I'm not here to try to get a viral clip of you busting you out or somebody else, you know what I'm saying? So if I feel it going that way, that's your job to but a lot of people will take it the
Oh
other
yeah,
way,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah, yeah.
see, okay, I passed you the weed, let you kick back and shit, and then I could
It's
have asked you
open
whatever,
time.
it'd have been
Exactly.
open,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
I don't feel like that's what we're here to control the narrative, you know
Yeah,
what I'm
and
saying? I want people to see you for the person I know you
right.
as, and see the dopeness that you have, not
I guess
oh, you're
I
being
never
messy
thought
right now.
anyone watched the shit. I never thought
They
anyone would
see
watch the interviews or I mean, they were dope interviews and dope platforms, but I wasn't like thinking that at the time. So
Yeah.
I
Well,
always
I'll
try
be
to now
completely
be on
honest. You're
my,
one of the people that inspired me to do this.
this is, it,
You
and
know
I
what I'm
love
saying?
it because this is how I am. Like, I sit down and just talk to people. I did 3 interviews this weekend and it was all unscripted, Monday and Tuesday.
Yeah.
All unscripted, all off the. Stalin wore my hat and my sunglasses the whole show.
That's
It was
what's
my
up.
birthday gift.
That's dope.
That
That's
shit was
what's up.
fat. I mean, that's a good. We can end it on that. That's a good high for my career
For sure.
because he's in my top
Part
5.
2 will be coming soon. This is where we end it. Shout out to
Yay.
Mickey, aka Trap
Much
Barber Walters,
love.
for coming through.
Henny,
This is
I
No
see
Filter
you.
Podcast.
That's dope.
That was fire.
Thank
like
you.
that. Thank you. That was dope.